B2B Cambodia, the portal for business use in Cambodia.
And how can Cambodia learn from this? Because you being able to look at the perspective of both countries,
Yep.
How can Cambodia upskill?
This is important. Cambodia needs to understand its comparative advantages and be self-aware. Cambodia is substantially smaller in number. When people talk about Vietnam being China +1, Vietnam has only 15 million people working in the manufacturing sector. Now I say only. It's still more than are working in the manufacturing sector in the United States. The United States has 12 million. But when you compare that to China, China has 125 million. So you look at China moving even 5%, it would mean that Vietnam would nearly have to double its workforce in manufacturing. So it's not going to happen. And I think what you need to do in Cambodia is recognize that, and therefore don't try and be Vietnam. What Cambodia's got to do is understand who it wants to be and what it wants to be good at. Pick a niche, take that niche and run with it. And I wouldn't necessarily try and be a strategic competitor with Vietnam. I'd go back and say what's complementary.
We have to touch a little bit on tariffs. Tariffs are changing every day. As we speak today, it seemed to be a softer stance from the administration. There is a significant trade deficit with the U.S. and Vietnam, and Vietnam's been targeted by the administration due to that. We really can't tell how this is going to play out because of the unpredictability of the administration, who has tariffs on, tariffs off, tariffs pause. How do you think this is going to pan out?
So basically, at AmCham, we say, you know what? We're not going to waste our time trying to read the tea leaves or debate the pros and cons of free trade. That's for the cocktail hour. As AmCham, what we're really trying to do is say, okay, what do we know and what do we do? And what we know is we have a significant deficit and it's growing. So we know that. We know that the administration has said addressing this deficit is critical. We know they've specifically mentioned they want lower duty rates and they want non-tariff trade barriers reduced and market access improved. And we know they want to address the rumor of or possibility of transshipment. So that's what we know. So what we're doing as AmCham is we're focusing on that. And the Vietnamese government also wants the deficit to go down because they realize if the deficit goes down, they can buy more goods from us, but they can continue exporting more to the US and both countries prosper. There are at least three buckets and purposes for the tariffs. One bucket is what we'll call income generation and onshoring incentivization. And that's the 10%, what we're calling the baseline tariffs. Our belief is that the 10% was chosen because it was that level at which maybe the buyer could eat 5% and the seller could eat 5%, but there would still be an incentive to onshore. Next point is basically the strategic industries. Strategic industries are steel and aluminum. People can say, yeah, if you want to have a military, you need to have your supply chains there. We don't, so that is in place. We don't see that changing anytime soon. Then you have automotive, again, for this administration, that is strategic. We're not going to debate that, that's what they're saying. While I see that they will learn in their discussions that there needs to be a more well thought out plan on that. Then you get to the reciprocal tariffs. Our view is the reciprocal tariffs are for negotiation, and that's really the purpose. And so we expect reciprocal tariffs to reduce substantially, if not be eliminated in certain cases. Now, what's our expectation for Vietnam? We expect that either they will go down to baseline with the possibility of these raising up again if the administration deems that the activities in good faith that had been promised is not forthcoming. Alternatively, they go from 46 to some other number with a schedule to minimize. We would hope the former, because it creates certainty and it creates relief immediately, and we can all get on. And it also, while it still creates an impetus to focus. One other point that I think we want as AmCham, and I think the Vietnamese government wants, is we want clarity on what it is exactly the administration's looking for in terms of non-tariff trade barriers.